What's good? It's your girl Wanique from Is a Cake Halloween. I have a really special order. It's for a YouTuber and he has 13 million subscribers. His name is Andreas. Yeah, we have an order for the Grinch. It's not this version, but it is the Jim Carrey version and it's about 2 feet tall. So let's get into it. Okay, first things first, I made my structure off camera. So for this cake, I wanted something to be nice and steady and strong because I will have to deliver this almost an hour away. So with this cake, I decided to go with a PVC structure. Maybe I'll teach you guys how to do that one or explain it in another video. So if you like that, please comment below PVC structure. But anyway, once I've got my structure completely made, covered in foil tape, all I did was made my Rice Krispie treats for the bottom of his head and I attached it to the structure. And as you can see right now, I am stacking and filling my cakes. My client wanted to go with a basic vanilla bean cake with vanilla bean Swiss meringue buttercream. So that's what I'm doing here, just stacking and filling. And on the outer parts of the cake, I'm using white chocolate ganache because we want this cake to be as steady as possible. So yeah, this is me stacking and filling this cake. I decided to go behind my island because I don't know, maybe I just need to figure out another angle to record in so you guys can see without me blocking. I prefer to be in the front of my cake so I can get every detail as perfect as I can. So the cakes I baked, I baked about 5 11 by 15 cakes and then basically just cut them up to build the body. And then I baked 2 5-inch cakes and a 4-inch cake for the head. So once the cake is completely stacked, I forgot to mention my cakes are frozen. Remember, anytime you're building a structure for a cake, make sure the cakes are frozen. So as of right now, I am carving out his body. I'm just trying to get the basic shape of him. Well, he has a big belly, but he has like a tiny chest. So I'm just trying to get his shape. So I'm just using the cut off pieces and just adding it back to the cake. Just for reference, if you guys are wondering, I do have plastic wrap over my entire table. So the cake is not just going onto my table, it's actually on plastic wrap or saran wrap, whatever you call it. Now that I'm happy with how my cake is shaped, it's time for me to ganache my entire cake. So I'm using a flexible smoother, and for this ganache, I wanted it to be more firm than soft. So I added a lot more chocolate into my ganache than whipping cream. So all I'm doing is just using my flexible smoother and just adding the ganache to the entire cake, making sure it's nice and smooth. And then we will move on to more details. Now that I've completely covered my entire cake with chocolate ganache, I'm filling in the arms with Rice Krispie treats. So all I'm doing is just adding the Rice Krispie treats, and then I cover the entire thing with ganache, and that's about it. Pretty simple. Here, I added in the heart. I mean, you can't do the Grinch without adding in the heart. That's the whole thing about the Grinch story. So I figured it would be a great touch. But then I thought about it afterwards. I'm like, are they really going to see the heart when they cut it? Because he's wearing red already. So I don't know. I thought about that after I did it. I was like, okay, whatever. Now that his heart is in, I'm just adding in more details to his arms, making it look like an actual fluffy sweater that's, I'd say, has its folds, like the folds that you get in your sweaters or jackets. So that's what I'm trying to create with the Maudlin chocolate. And here I'm showing you his isomel eyes that I created. I did it at this cake was due on Sunday. So I did it, I think, Tuesday, just to make sure like they're okay. I did like 5 different sets of eyes just to make sure I've got some good ones just in case something bad goes down. I don't know. It's just me covering my back when it comes to cakes because anything could happen. So here I'm just placing in his eyes. I'm finally working on his face. Like I said, I really need to figure out a new angle to make these detail cakes where you guys can be able to see it and me also be in the front of the cake because I can't for the death of me. I cannot work on a cake from the back. I can't do it. I don't know how some people do it, but I can't. I need to be in the front and I need to see what I'm doing. So here, his face is pretty much coming together. I'm just adding in the details of his eyelids and just referring to my Grinch photo, just to get him as close as possible. So basically, I just took small pieces of Maudlin chocolate, rolled it into like a little roly-poly-oly. That's what I call it. And then I place it onto the cake and then I use my tools to smoothen out the sides. And if the tools doesn't work, your fingers are always the best way to go. Honestly, this is one of my favorite parts of making this entire cake. As you can see, I'm looking down at the reference. Making the grumpy lines in his face, I think that's what really makes the Grinch. He's not the Grinch without these lines. Well, the Jim Carrey version. I got the cake as close as possible to him, but I feel like it's not perfect, but I mean, It is what it is. So here I'm just mapping out his mouth because he does have a pouty mouth in the photo I am referencing to. And right now his face is kind of coming together, but I'm still in the back of my mind saying, hey, something's a little off. And with me, I think it was his eyes. I should have gone a darker color with his eyes. I'm so sorry. Like, I am literally blocking this entire part, but I couldn't help myself. I needed to be in front of it. And if you don't know me by now, like, my eyesight is not great at all. So I need to be as close as possible to this cake so I can see what I'm doing. Once I'm happy with how his wrinkles are looking on his face, I'm just going to add in the little dots. I guess that's where his whiskers were supposed to be. But he doesn't really have whiskers. He just has like the holds to the whiskers. So I'm just adding in those and then we will move on to another detailed part of this cake. Oh yes, we happy with it. So here I'm just adding his Santa red to the cake. This part was pretty tricky because the hands got in the way. Recording this part, this probably was the second time I attempted adding the red to the cake, so I was pretty frustrated at this point. So all I'm doing is just adding the red modeling chocolate mixed with fondant to this cake, and then I'm just blending it together to make sure everything is nice and seamless. And I'm pretty much doing the same thing to his hat. Next, I'm moving on to his hands, pretty much doing the same thing, adding it to the structure, making sure it looks like a hand, and his fingers are really long. Okay, and after I pretty much okay with everything, I'm adding the final details. So like the white fluffy parts around his hat and then his belt. And once I got that done, I was like, okay, it's coming together. It's coming together. And here I'm just adding texture into the white fondant just to make it give that furry texture of the hat. I'm just using like a stippling type motion. At this point, I've been up 2 days straight. I am so tired. I couldn't function at this point. I was done for. I just wanted this cake out of my door and to be done. So right now I'm pretty happy because I'm almost there. I'm literally almost there. And when adding in the eyelashes, it's so hard to make the Grinch not look like a girl, but the eyelashes is what makes the Grinch, also with his green skin, right? But like, if you don't add the lashes, then he doesn't really look like the Grinch. So I had a hard time trying to decide if I should keep the lashes or take the lashes off. But in the end, I left the lashes on because I mean, what's the Grinch without his three long eyelashes at the end of both of his eyes? Now that I'm pretty much happy with how my Grinch is looking, I feel like I should decorate the board just a tiny little bit. So I got some unsweetened shaved coconut. I think it's shaved or shredded coconut. And I just added it to the board just to look like he's in snow. And ta-da! My Grinch cake that I made for Andreas. I really liked it. He liked it. And that's all that matters. Anyway, if you like my video, please like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Let me know what you would like to see next, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.